Today I'm going to talk about two videos that I posted recently and my reaction to them, I guess. Just a little common sense. That's coming up. Stick around.
And now we interrupt, disrupt, and crash this station.
The man fighting for peace, his legacy, truth in a sea of stupid.
Filtered for your sarcastic enjoyment, Ghost Getter.
So I posted a video last week that was it was about Ghost Adventures. Now, I had quite a few views, no comments, 3 likes, 6 dislikes, and I probably got the dislikes maybe from the fans of GAC. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they just didn't like the video. But one thing that was criticized about it, like it has been criticized in the past about it, because I've talked about it before on my show, is the fact that this evidence I come out with got one particular person angry and used quite a bit of vulgar language. And I said, you can complain and use vulgar language pretty much. When you do that, then your argument's completely eliminated because there's no debate. You're just insulting, and the only reason you do that is because you have nothing to stand on, no leg to stand on. But I thought it was really surprising that I had that many views that quickly, because I don't get a whole lot of views on these videos very often. Maybe later I will, I don't know. But I think mostly it's probably because of the fans. But the interesting part about it is my argument is truth, okay? My argument is the fact that this evidence is out there and nobody can really argue the evidence because it is there. They say one thing and did another. They said that they have a reputation to uphold, but yet they're using stuff in their shows where they know it's not true. And not only once, twice, but 3 times. I can actually count more, but from what I've shown, 3 times that they were producing false evidence or false stories, so to speak. So basically my argument is, if you don't have, if it's true, then you have something to go on. But if it's not true, then why would you follow somebody that is lying to you? Why would you continue to worship them? And believe me, if you're that big on cursing me out over GAC and not willing to listen or accept or even think about the facts that presented to you, the evidence that's presented to you, if you're not even willing to look at that, then you're so obsessed with these people, you're so obsessed with this TV show, then there's a problem. If you're not even going to logically, realistically use this and think about it, or if it's entertainment, if you just watch for entertainment reasons, then that's understandable, because the WWE is the same way. Wrestling is the same way. It's not real, but people still watch it to entertain themselves. Maybe that's what it is with GAC. I don't know, just to entertain themselves. But it's still not a reason to get angry over it. I'm talking to the people that rely on them as being honest, rely on them as what they say, the reputation, being actual investigators, being actual, big in this field as far as evidence goes, and using that evidence to actually change things, to actually help people, that sort of thing. Serious people in this field. If you're willing to rely on them to be serious about it, then there's something wrong. But if it's entertainment reasons, then maybe you have a leg to stand on. Second one, the Ghost Box video. Now, forget the fact, because it's funny, don't even bring it up. The fact that I, Ghost Box, Ovilus, whatever, Radio Shack, piece of equipment, whatever it is. First of all, common sense. I've said it a million times about common sense. Facts, common sense. First of all, the video was supposed to be coincidentally the idea came from a Fraggle Rock episode in the 80s. Not even mentioned. Not even brought up. For those that complained or those that left comments, whatever it is, not even brought up. So, I don't like it because, it's... That's your choice. But to spend all this time complaining about it, it's a Fraggle Rock video. It came from Fraggle Rock. The idea came from Fraggle Rock. That's what I believe. And even if it didn't, it's a huge coincidence. People didn't like it. People were mad. Well, it's your choice. But it's still a Fraggle Rock video. Second of all, it's common sense. Like I said, common sense. I get people, one in particular, who's got a degree in quadrilube sucker 1592 exoskeleton wave files of the 1500 dimension 2564. First of all, let me show you something. It's supposed to be about hearing human voices. With my doctorate degree in parapsychology, wave filing, ectoplasm, sound waves of the 15th dimension and 42.9, I actually picked up spirit voices in my very expensive piece of equipment that the government's probably spent millions of dollars. I'm sure they haven't, but, got all this work that I've done for years studying the sound waves of spirits that are dead. Know what this is? It's a video camera. Very old video camera. Let me back it up. Video camera. Bought it at a yard sale. I have one that just like it that I bought years ago, but I have one just like it. Done by the same video camera. Well, like I said, the other one's the same model, make and model, but mine was older. Same video camera. Voices in the room. The woman you hear is, there was nobody in the house except me. And of course, it wasn't me that made that sound because I was in another room. So you can hear me asking a question and a woman answers. And the very first one, you can kind of see a shadow moving in through the mirror, but there's a face in the mirror if you can actually see it. Same video camera. I've sat that video camera in that same spot 100 times, maybe more, and never got that face in the mirror. Point is, I got EVPs with a video camera. It's a videotape. Okay. Recorder. Of course, I've got tape recorders that are like 1970s. Nintendo. No, I'm just kidding. It's a videotape as well. What's my point? My point is, you can pick up EVPs from a video recorder, from a DVR, from a VHS. Let me show you something I got as well. It's a phone from like 20 years ago. That's like 10 years ago. And I've picked up, EVPs on this as well. Point is, you're wasting your money. You really are. Because you can pick up EVPs from just about anything. You can study the wave files. I got a cool edit that tells you if it's by the human ear or not. It doesn't take much to figure that out. Doesn't take much at all. Don't take a doctorate. My problem is, and you can't answer this, the Fraggle Rock video. One, the Fraggle Rock video. 2, how can you tell if it's demonic, if they're demons talking to you and not human spirits? And don't go by well, it's a feeling that I get. Because a lot of psychics, people that claim to be psychic and things like that, say it's a feeling. Well, you know what? I had a feeling when I was growing up that I was going to be rich. Turns out I was wrong. I was wrong about that feeling. I had a feeling when I grew up I was going to be handsome and gorgeous and popular. Turns out I was wrong about that too. So I have a lot of feelings that I'm wrong about quite a bit. So when a person says, I have a feeling, that horse hockey, that doesn't buy hogwash, okay? So to say that you have a degree in this and try to sound intelligent, try to make everybody think that you're intelligent and spend a whole lot of time or get other people to believe you're intelligent, you're really trying really hard to get people to believe you're intelligent. Think about one thing. Case closed. You don't have an answer, okay? There is no answer. It's like I said, you did all this work and all this time, and you still don't have an answer. Ghost Adventures got EVPs. They still don't have an answer. Ghost Hunters got EVPs. They still don't have an answer. It goes around and around and around in a circle, and people still don't have answers. They get the same results over and over and over again. Oh, you can figure out the frequency range and the multiple sounds and sound waves and things like that. And people can do that all day long. But you're still not going to have an answer of what it is. It's common sense. There's a reason why these things happen. Round and round it goes. And you know, the sad thing is, I've been doing this all my life. And when I did it your way, round and round and round it goes, no answer. It's the same thing over and over again. It's the same little girl ghost that's everywhere, in every haunted place, in every city in the nation. The same 25-year-old woman in the white dress. Round and round and round it goes. It's always the same spirits. It's amazing to me that millions and millions of people have died over the last 1,000 years, even 100 years. And it's the same answers, the same ghosts, the same spirits, the same BS. I did it my way, and I got better answers in less than a year, maybe in one investigation, than what you are doing in years and years of research. You know why? Because it's common sense. Don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you see. That's all it takes. Now, getting on to why I know this. This is why I know this. All that. Let me tell you a story why I know that. Okay. Remember, this is why. I've had this for years, and it's worked. Let me tell you why it's worked. I've used it in situations that have been really bad. Okay, and first of all, let me tell you, there are those out there that are going to say, well, I don't believe in it because it was written by man. But you believe what spirits tell you, supposedly. Especially psychics. Chip Coffey said the same thing. That he didn't believe it because it was written by man and man can alter it. Well, if that's the case, then why do you believe a spirit that tells you what other spirits are telling it? What do you call those spirit guides? If you have a spirit guide, supposedly a dead person, that's telling you what other dead people are telling you, isn't that man or previously man? And how do you know that they're not lying? Because people lie. So that argument is void, pretty much. So let me tell you a story why I know this. Right here. That house that I just showed you the video in, I was having the same issue that everyone was saying. It's a dead person of a guy that flew a plane that lived next door. It's a younger male. It's an older male. It's a young girl. It's a young boy. It's a blah, 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 blah. And I've heard this several times. You know, especially the little girl and the little boy. It's always the same spirits, you know, same dead people making noises. So one day I got fed up with that, with the noises, you know, and I took this Bible. One thing I want to mention that real quick is there is a room, computer room, that I always went into to get away from it. For some reason, these so-called spirits would not go into that room. I couldn't figure out why. So one day I'm standing in this room and I'm thinking, why is it that they go stop at the door on this side that leads to the restroom? They stop at this door that leads to the living room. They stop at the window and they do things outside the window. But they never come into this room. They've been in every other room in this house. Ironically, every dark place. Don't do too much when it's lighted. But why is it that they do things all around it but don't go in this room? So I stood there and I thought, what is in this room that's keeping them from coming in here? And I look around and I realize that there was literature from a past religion, or I don't know, call it religion, past church that my sister and I went to, pretty much my entire family went to, that was in this room, boxes and boxes of this stuff. Books, Bibles, I wouldn't say all Bibles, but magazines, you name it. For those of you that don't know what exactly I'm talking about, Plain Truth magazines. For some of you that do, you know what that is. Plain Truth magazines, Good News magazines, Armstrong books, just every kind of piece of notes you could think of. Point is, I stood there and I said to myself, oh, that's why they don't come in here. That's what's scaring them away. Then it dawned on me that maybe these voices were not human at all. Actually, they were demons making up human voices, copying. I got more answers than you do, quicker than you did. Trust me, and you did years of research. And by the way, they also made up copied voices and imitated voices of people in my family that weren't dead. Imitated my mother, other people, members of my family, baby sounds of babies crying. People that weren't dead. If they're making up sounds of people that weren't dead, don't that tell you something? It's interesting, blinders. People that are, you know, they're so blind. They don't see things like that. They don't think about things like that. Think about it. Open your mind and think. Why would it be a voice of an EVP or a voice of somebody making sounds or talking in the room of your mother and she's not passed away? Don't you think that wouldn't be a ghost? That goes out to GAC and ghost hunters and everybody else that just assume it's the little girl ghost and don't even question anything outside of it. Why? Because she used to live in this house. Well, how do you explain the steel mills that they're hanging out in and other places where they don't belong? Demons know this. They've been around thousands of years and they know way more than you. They know every hair on your head. They know everything about you. Before you even think it or do it, they already have the answer to it. So, I started this little thing where I said, you know what, I'm going to start finding out on my own, okay? Maybe it's just them making up voices. So things started to get a little darker in the house. They got a little frightening, a little more frightening than usual. So one day, I come home and I was upset, and I said, you know what? I'm tired of this. I don't know who's making these noises, and I was already upset about something. I don't remember what it was, but I came home and I wasn't in a good mood. And I started hearing noises and stuff, and I got a little upset. See, I've had all kinds of problems with this house, more than most people think, especially the ones that live there. But I started having problems, and I got angry, and I said, you know what? I'm tired of you. You want to play your games. I'm going to start playing mine. You're going to make noises. I'm going to make noises of my own. So I took one of those, videotapes and a cassette that had a telecast, a Mr. Armstrong telecast on the video tape, and I put it in the VCR and I cranked it. I took a sermon from an old sermon from the church, and I stuck it in a boom box, and I set it on the stairs because most of the noises were coming from upstairs. It's like a loft house. I had a loft, and it was like a bedroom up there. And I set it on the stairs, and I cranked it, pointing toward the top of the steps, because that's where the sounds are coming from. And nobody was home, and I knew that. So I cranked that too. And I stood there by the door around where the camera was, where you see the video camera standing there pointing towards the mirror. And I was standing there near the door where the office is, because the office was behind the camera. And I'm looking up toward the steps, and I said, how do you like that for noise? How do you think that feels? And I swear to you, I heard the most, I still can't explain it to this day. It wasn't human, and it wasn't an animal. This noise, it sounded like a growling or beastly noise, and it was loud, coming from that direction. I mean, I can explain that sound, but it's just it was horrifying. It was something that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. You're never going to forget that sound, especially when you hear it. But as soon as I heard that, I got down on one knee and started praying to get rid of it, asking God to get rid of it. Bible. So as soon as I did that, got on one knee, I had, kind of just a little bit worried that I'm going to get attacked, or I'm about to be under attack. And I remember opening my left eye, and when I did, I saw something white. It kind of looked like tissue paper, like that. And it went from the living room where I saw it, and it upstairs. It flew from the living room and went upstairs, up the steps, and that growling noise stopped like that. I mean, it was fast. All I saw was this cloth. I couldn't tell. I don't know what it was, but all I know is I know what I saw, I know what I heard, and I know what happened that day. But as soon as that, I thought to myself, I don't know what the heck that was, but, things need to change. But that's when it stopped. Since then, on investigations, I've used this or something similar. There have been multitude of times. I've had problems since I can't tell you, 5 years old. I've been bullied, taunted, you name it, over and over and over again. And now, when I use that, I've had problems in my house. It doesn't matter where I move. It's always the same. It's a familiar spirit. So what happens is, when that happens and I use it, things change. Things stop. It doesn't happen anymore. The environment, the feeling in the environment changes. The whole you'll understand it once you've been through it. The entire environment changes, not just your feeling, but you can just, you can tell when it goes away. So it doesn't take a DVR, videotapes, all that stuff, all that equipment, all that time, all that money spent on that stuff. All it takes is this. You want to get real answers? Try taking that on investigations when things get really hot. Take that to the Baker Hotel, or I don't even know, Baker, the Myrtles Plantation, or somewhere where it's really, really bad. The place in Lexington, Kentucky, Louisville. Take that there. When it's really, really bad, take this. And you'll notice it. If you're really, really, and those people out there that say, well, I'm part of religion, I'm going to strike away the... Wonder why it never works? Because you don't believe in... They don't look outside of what you're carrying. They look inside what you really believe. This is why things don't work. This is why possessions take days. This is why people's houses always stay haunted. This is why people can't seem to figure out why they can't get rid of the ghost. People can't figure it out. They don't mind a little girl or ghost be in their house, so they're going to stay there. If you feel it truly like you're going to get rid of it, it'll go away. This works more than anything. And you can laugh and you can do whatever and just and all that stuff. But guess what? My way has worked. My way has worked for years now. Because I know it's demonic. They know I know it's demonic. How do they know? You remember your little Ovilus box that you keep saying that is the best thing since sliced bread? This is what a demon said in an Ovilus box when I walked out of a room and a guy was using an Ovilus box. And keep in mind, ghost box, Ovilus box, whatever you call it, it's all the same. It's a souped up techno Ouija board, basically. It's all it is. I've gotten EVPs that you normally don't hear. I've gotten things like this. Test the spirits. Test the spirits. And you're going to find out what you really, really... And some of you, you're not going to like what you find. You're not going to like what you find out. Your whole world of, it's a rush. It's so exciting. It's going to change overnight. You're not going to like what you find. But you know what? It's the truth. It's facts. Do you enjoy being deceived? Because I don't. There's a massive deception going on. You know why some people can't seem to... It takes months to get rid of possession. Don't you think that they're playing you when their head spins around and spitting up pea soup like Hollywood tries to make it look and all this? They say all this weird stuff. Don't you think they're playing you? Why are they playing you? Because it keeps you in that religion. It keeps you not using that Bible and not actually believing in what it says. Because most people will just hold it and shout, but they will never use it. You're going to stay as long as they convince you that it's working, and they do all this stuff, and all of a sudden they supposedly disappear. Guess what? It's just like being bluffed in a card game. When a person acts a certain way and, I got it. And then you get screwed because you think that's how they really are, but it's not. Master deceivers. They will change their character on a whim to make you believe it's true. And so there's this testing the Ovilus, supposedly. Now, listen to this. This is... Notice when the box was in a windowsill by a curtain. Okay, this thing can only supposedly use a couple of words at a time. It doesn't speak full sentences. But this thing did. So listen, and this is a rarity.
Is this Jeremy?
Some guy was using it and I was out of it. We are old. Yeah. I thought it said, I talk devil.
Where are you?
I was at Where are you? I'm the curtain low. We are old.
Fucking hurt.
Now listen to this. Go back. Go back. Tell that mic we hate you. Let's play it again, so you'll understand.
Where are you?
The curtain. By the way, I'll explain it later. Here you go. We are old.
Fucking hurt.
And by the way, when you heard my voice on the audio, as it was being recorded, I told him to bring the recording upstairs because I was doing a show through live stream, and I wanted people on live stream to hear what he recorded. So I was playing it for them. That's why you hear my voice. I wasn't in the room when he was recording it. So have you ever heard an Ovulus talking full sentences? Go back, tell that mic we hate you. For some reason that night, we kind of tapped into things we shouldn't have, and I was testing it. I was testing the spirits. And, you know, after that happened, one of the girls that was investigating quit. She decided not to do it anymore. Of course, that's good. Actually, since I've done this, there's a few people that have been involved in it that quit and stopped doing it. As far as anything else since, there's people out there that don't want to take that chance. They don't want to know. They'd rather keep doing what they're doing, and they still want to believe what they want to believe, and it doesn't matter what anybody says because they don't want to know the truth, because they're afraid of the truth. It's understandable. But to waste all that money on recording sessions or, you know, I'm going to find out wave files, you end up getting this. You're not going to get any more answers. You might hear frequency range. You might get that, the types of waves, but you're never going to get an answer of what it truly is. You're never going to get an answer of any of that. It's just going to keep going around and around in circles because that's what they want you to think. And so you keep doing it over and over again. You ever notice Ghost Adventures and all these shows, they keep getting the same things. It's always the same answer every show all the time. They got an EVP you never heard before. They got this you never heard before, but it's the same thing over. The end result is always the same. And so we keep going in circles. The idea to keep going in circles is to, the longer you do it, the more time it wastes, the older you get, you never find the answers, you die before you get the truth. They don't want you to get the truth. Things are not what they seem. So you can get mad at me because what I've said about Ghost Adventures. You get mad at me because of what I said about a ghost box. But I promise you, you will never get the answer, the true answer that you're looking for. It will just keep going in circles. I got a voice. Everybody gets voices. Everybody gets sounds. So you think it's Michael Jackson. Right. So you think it's this person and that person. Right. How come we don't get ghosts of someone in, the days of Christ? We always get Victorian era ghosts. It's always the same thing over and over again. There are millions of people that died over the last so many years, and we get the same characters. The same characters. Maybe once in a blue moon you may get something different because that's what they want you to get. But I promise you, I will get the answers before you do. Why? You'll be surprised some of the nasty EVPs that I've gotten. I've been cursed at. I've been told that, F off. And then I was on one time where I told my brother, all you're going to get is the same thing, basically. All you're going to get is the sound of a piece of paper dropping on the floor, and then you hear one of them saying, no such spirit, because he was talking about the woman ghost and all that stuff inside the place where we were investigating, and you got no such spirit. Here's the EVP.
22 years ago, you could get speech
So I get EVPs that you don't usually get. So, hey, and I admit, even I get deceived. Even I am bluffed, or things happen to me all the time. But to sit there and say, to think that you have all the answers, that you know everything, no degree can give you the answers.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
This gives you better answers than that. And laugh, joke, make all kinds of fun. But in the end, I will always have to get the answers faster than you will. As you're sitting there believing the same thing over and over again, and you continue to do, maybe even Zach knows this and is bluffing you or fooling you. Even he might be involved in his foot. You know, there are people out there, they're actually working for the wrong side. So believe all you want, but in the end, guess what? You're never going to figure it out. I appreciate everybody watching, and I know it's long and all that. I appreciate it. Reverse 96 FM. Google it. You can listen to the station 24/7. Check us out on there. I am a radio guy. I run my own radio station. One day I'll do a video and show you how I get things working around here. But until then, but I appreciate everybody checking it out. Until next time, thanks everybody for watching. And I will see you on the next one. Appreciate it. Later, Tater.